Francis Ngannou is now gone, so we have to crown a new heavyweight champion, as the heavyweight championship lies vacant due to Francis Ngannou being released by the UFC. We have Jon Jones, who's coming off of 3 years of inactivity, taking on a Ciryl Gane, who has just looked very impressive against Tai Tuivasa. This matchup will headline the UFC 285 card in Las Vegas in early March. This fight is especially interesting because, again, we have Jon Jones coming off of 3 years inactivity and moving up to the heavyweight division, taking on a Ciryl Gane who struggled against Francis Ngannou on the ground in that matchup, but other than that has looked very good in all his other matchups and looked super technical on the feet. So if you have not seen any of my early predictions or breakdown videos, I'm basically going to match these guys up physically and how they look on paper, and then breaking down how I think the fight will go. So without further ado, let's get right into the breakdown. We have Jon Jones, who's 26-1 record and 11-1 record for Ciryl Gane. Obviously, Jon Jones will have a little bit more experience in the UFC and in MMA. He's been around a lot longer. Ciryl Gane making his debut a few years ago. So Jon Jones will be a few years, 3 years older than Ciryl Gane here. They will be the same height. Jon Jones, the rumor on Jon Jones is that he's around 255 pounds right now. He could be more, could be less by fight time. We have no idea. But for Ciryl Gane, according to the UFC.com weight, he has 247 pounds. Jon Jones will have a 3.5-inch reach advantage and a 3-inch leg reach advantage in this one. We're going to go directly into these guys' previous fight. Jon Jones coming last off 3 years ago against Dominic Reyes, who I thought Dominic Reyes won that matchup. Jon Jones did end up getting a 49-46 and a 48-47 scorecards like a Usman or an Adesanya would get. A little bit of controversy with that one. You saw a lot of the media. It's kind of where you saw like some of these big iffy robberies start coming in. So it's a little unfortunate for that one. But his previous matchups against Thiago Santos, Anthony Smith, Alexander Gustafsson, he won by KO. Ciryl Gane, last fight was against Tai Tuivasa, won by KO. Looked very good there. Looked very powerful too. Francis Ngannou, he did lose to, as he did get dominated on the ground. Derek Lewis was able to piece him up there, won by KO to win the interim belt, and beat Alexander Volkov in that matchup too. So for this one, I am going to lean Jon Jones specifically because of the ground game of Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane in that Francis Ngannou fight did get pretty much, I don't want to say dominated, but he got handled on the ground pretty handily, I guess, if you want to put those words together. He got handled on the ground by Francis Ngannou, who is not very experienced on the ground. We saw in his last fight, Francis Ngannou specifically be able to stuff takedowns from Stipe Miocic for the first time. So that's how much experience Francis Ngannou has on the ground, and was able to basically bring Ciryl Gane on the ground without like an MCL. So that's not a good look for Ciryl Gane on the ground, especially at all. Especially going up against Jon Jones in this one. Jon Jones is a very good MMA fighter, is a very good MMA wrestler, and is a very technical fighter. So going up to heavyweight, you don't know how exactly Jon Jones's attributes will translate. All we know is maybe he might get a little bit more power. He does have his reach, and he does have his wrestling. So, and he is training with Henry Cejudo. So we've seen guys go into Cejudo's gym and get trained by Cejudo, like a Yuri Prochazka, which you don't see the big wrestling changes there, but he did win against Glover Teixeira, had a lot of good reversals there. We saw a Zhang Weili be able to out-wrestle Carlos Esparza and Jan Jacek. Oh my goodness, I can never say that damn last name right. And then we saw a Davison Figueiredo be able to out-wrestle Moreno on the ground. He looked very impressive there too. So we know if Jon Jones is hanging out with Henry Cejudo and training with him, he's probably going to have a good wrestling mindset for this matchup. So that's why I'm going to have Jon Jones win this matchup, probably by 49-46 or 48-47 in this one. I think Ciryl Gane is actually going to be better on the feet here. I think Ciryl Gane's got a good power in his hands, a super technical fighter. In his earlier matchups, I'll say right around before the Derek Lewis fight, he was kind of labeled as a guy who's a little bit boring, just kind of likes to be a little bit technical, just likes to point fight. But since the Derek Lewis fight, you've seen him take a little bit more chances in there. You saw him take a little bit of chances against Francis Ngannou, but he was a little bit worried about the power initially on the feet. For the Derek Lewis fight, absolutely just, I don't even know what to even call it, out-techniqued Derek Lewis to the point where it looked like Derek Lewis was kind of like balling up a little bit. For Tai Tuivasa, he actually looked very good there because Tai Tuivasa does have a lot of power in his hands, but again, Ciryl Gane was taking a lot of chances there, showed some of his power off, and looked extremely good, like I said. But for this one, especially on the feet, I think Ciryl Gane bouncing around, you can kind of compare that to Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes kind of moved around a lot in that fight. Same thing that Ciryl Gane does. He does move around a little bit, enters in range also. I think even at a reach disadvantage, I think he's going to be able to enter range and do things like that. I think he's still going to be able to outstrike Jon Jones there. I think he's going to be able to enter range, and he uses movement to avoid some of those bigger shots from Jon Jones. I think Jon Jones is going to start out a little slow early on. I think he's going to be a little rusty. I think he's going to go for more of those oblique kicks, try and point him up. But I think Ciryl Gane will definitely win that first round. Jon Jones will probably attempt a takedown towards the end of that round just to see if he's going to be able to get it or how he's going to be able to game plan it in general and how Ciryl Gane reacts in that way. So I see Ciryl Gane winning that first round. The second round, I can see Ciryl Gane winning also. I think it could be a little bit more split. I think that will probably be a round where people might argue a little bit. But I think we'll see Jon Jones definitely develop his wrestling there a little bit more. I think Ciryl Gane's definitely going to piece him up on the feet. I think we may see Jon Jones hurt a little bit in this matchup because heavyweight power is a little bit different from light heavyweight power. And Ciryl Gane's super tactical. Like I said, similar to Dominic Reyes, I think they'll just be moving around a lot, and it's going to be hard for Jon Jones to really touch Ciryl Gane in that way. I think Jon Jones is going to have to make this fight a little bit more tighter. I think that he's going to get a little bit closer, just grind him maybe put him against the fence, grind him there, hit some of his knees, attempt takedowns, do some more of those oblique kicks in range, because Ciryl Gane will definitely be trying to chop him down too. So I definitely see Jon Jones start to develop his wrestling game as this fight goes on. So I'm going to go Jon Jones by 49-46 or 48-47 decision here. I think Jon Jones slowly implements his wrestling throughout the fight. We'll see Jon Jones probably attempt a takedown, like I said, at the end of round one. Or if not, he probably just wants to see how it is on the feet. I think in round two, we'll definitely see Jon Jones clinch it up, attempt some takedowns there. And I think that's what we'll see Jon Jones start to take over there. I think we'll start to see him gain the advantage over Gane. I think Gane will start to get a little bit tired. And I think he's going to be able to hold him down and dominate him on the ground. That's why I said 48-47. I can definitely see Ciryl Gane maybe hurting Jon Jones. Jon Jones shoots in and then takes him down and then dominates him basically for the rest of the fight. I don't think Jon Jones would stay up there with Ciryl Gane for the rest of the fight if he knew that Ciryl Gane had the striking advantage. So Jon Jones is a very smart fighter. Jon Jones out-wrestled DC, and he's at a heavyweight division. So we don't know how that translates. We don't know how his power translates. Jon Jones specifically, we don't know how his power translates. We don't know how strong he will be against a guy like Ciryl Gane, but we know he will be heavier, at least from what we've seen. And I think he's going to be able to take down Ciryl Gane and control him there. So Ciryl Gane may be able to steal around in the second round, but I think that's the only way we see a 48-47 there. I think Jon Jones just dominates on the ground. So I'm going to go Jon Jones by 48-47. I think that's a comfortable spot to be at, but I can definitely see a 49-46 coming into play here. He's training with Henry Cejudo. He's going to be a very wrestling heavy game plan here. So that's why I'm going to go with Jon Jones. He's going to make this boring. He's going to grind it out. And then after the fight, he's going to call out Stipe Miocic for a legacy fight. Heavyweight GOAT versus light heavyweight GOAT. Make it happen. He confirmed he's going to at least do 2 fights. I think that's if he wins. Maybe if he loses, he still does that fight. But I do see Jon Jones winning this matchup. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know who you think will win this matchup also in the comments down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys